What's up, pod pals? It's your buddy Adam from Podcasting Business School, the show where I teach podcasters how to love their podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. Today, I'm doing a podcast audit with my very good pod pal, Paula from Talk Shit with P. Paula, how's it going?
Nervous, sweating, but life is good. It's my birthday tomorrow, so
Oh, happy birthday. Paula is 15 years old tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
and I will say eight,
All right. So let's dive into your show. We've known each other for quite a while now, so I'm very excited about this. Plenty of ideas. So, if we are sitting down having conversation 6 months from today and things are going really, really well with their show, I would love for you to define what that would look like for you.
more downloads and engagement. I I get reviews from time to time from weird people or even DMs in my messages, but I really don't get the engagement I want on my show the way I
Okay.
want it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think that's a nice focus point for you too, because your brand is infused with your energy. And I think the more that you can plug your audience into that Paula energy, it's just going to be a multiplier. And all of a sudden, you've got people like obsessed with your show. They're telling other people, downloads happen. So, yeah, I think that's a great, those are a couple of great goals. Now, what do you feel like is holding you back right now? If you could pick one thing that you're like, this is really a roadblock for me, what would that roadblock look like?
I think my speech. I do think that I do need a speech coach so that I keep mumbling. Like every time I listen when I'm editing, like before I put an episode and I listen, I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. So I feel like I do need to invest on a speech coach so that I can properly present my message.
Okay. Well, let me counter that argument where I feel like if your speech and your accent or how you talk was a problem, well, I feel like an example of how that isn't a problem is that at Podfest, you became best friends with my 8-year-old daughter, Hannah. And if she can't understand what the hell you're saying, she's not going to be like all frenzy with you. And she's like obsessed with you. So, like, that's something that if my 8-year-old daughter can understand everything that you're saying and loves your energy, I feel like we're okay. So, I feel like, I mean, if you want to invest in a speech coach and things like that, that's cool. But I don't think it's a priority right now. I can fully understand everything that you're saying. I love your energy. Like, if you started talking rapid fire or something, I may have to hit the rewind button a second. But I feel like you do a good job of infusing your Paula energy and bringing the volume when you're excited about something or slowing down and articulating when you need to. And I feel like you do a good job of that. So in my opinion, I think we're okay in that department. And it makes you unique. Like your accent and the way that you speak and your Paula energy, that is part of what I think people are drawn to, and that's why they'll hang around. So I think maybe something you perceive as a weakness could actually be a strength. What do you think about that?
Thank you. I don't know why to me it's still not cultivating the way because I've gotten a lot of feedback about, oh my God, you have incredible conversations. Oh my God, you I like how you speak. And I'm just like, how? Because I can't speak. Because to me it's annoying, but I will take it. Especially since again, my best friend, my new best friend approved of me and you have been on my shows and I've been on a lot of your IG lives. So I'll take that. So I think I will stop obsessing about that and maybe I'm working towards, and I think you've been part of it. You've seen I'm slowly been revamping and rebranding my talk show with you from the logo to the content to niching down. So I have finally found, because I know one of the biggest issues my podcast has is also sound. So I need to fix that. And luckily, I found somebody who's willing to help me with that. So season 7, I'm hoping that I can finally get into proper sounding with proper microphones and equipment for it. Like I don't even have any microphone. But again,
Yeah.
that's because of my fire. So but
Yeah.
also that time I never even used it like that. And every time I'm like, oh my God, I have to remember to use it. So now I want to be intentional on the sound.
Yeah. I like that. I think that'll help with you not feeling as self-conscious about your language and things like that, like having a decent microphone. Like even if, like, I've recorded almost 1,000 episodes on this $97 ATR 2100. So investing in something like that will help quite a bit. And it's kind of like that lucky rock that you put in your pocket and you feel more confidence with, like when you have some like an official microphone and things, maybe like I said, maybe you're a little less self-conscious. And I think it's natural. I've got a lot of clients, I work with a lot of people that English isn't their first language or they have a thicker accent, and you are much harder on yourselves than any listener is on you, 100%, because you feel like, oh, you just don't have that confidence. It's your second language, or it's not, something that you feel like you can really excel at, but you're doing way better than what you think. So yeah. So anyway, leveling up the audio equipment, all that's going to help. I have been seeing the progress of your brand where like you're dialing in your art. I think, niching down into, I mean, would you say that you're really a representative of the mental wellness space, mental health, mental wellness? I mean, do you feel like that's kind of where you're leaning into?
Yes.
Okay. And I think like adding those sorts of words, if we were to talk rebranding the title of your show, or even just an extension, like mental talk shit with B, mental health conversations for X, Y, and Z as a subtitle. Mental health is a keyword and it's an identifier. Mental health conversations for if it's like entrepreneurs, millennials, and whatever, or even just like entrepreneurs and another category that you want to speak to, female entrepreneurs, and like we can get as specific as we want with that X.
Creatives. What about creatives? Because I
Creatives is
wanna
a yes,
concentrate. I wanna
yes,
concentrate on the creative side of
yes,
work because that's where I'm
yes,
leaning to. So
yes, yes. Creatives. That's a category that I'm definitely seeing more people searching, that represent content creators, musicians, artists, people that are, taking something and or a space where there's nothing and creating something in it. So yeah. So I like, mental health, even maybe even adding mental health and well-being, or mental health and wellness is another good search term. Um, like the category that you're in, the words that we want to have showing up: mental health, self-help, wellness, mental wellness, um, personal development, like personal growth. These are words that need to be in the title of your show and episode titles and your podcast host, because that's going to be the keyword that draws the right people to your show. And then once the right people get plugged into the Paula energy, they're hooked. Like, you are unique and you are different. Let's like totally lean into that face first. Like, let's lean into the Paula unique, funny, weird, quirky factor, because I think that's awesome, right? And you're not the average, like you're not the psychotherapist mental wellness show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're out there figuring it out. So let's lean into that. You can become what I call the people's champion. Like, look at me with podcasting business school. When I launched this show, I mean, I don't have a business degree. I don't have an MBA. I'm not a stage speaker. I didn't even have a social media presence or an email list. I was boots on the ground, figuring it out, taking everybody on that journey with me, teaching lessons learned. And now I'm 4 or 5 steps ahead of the person that's just getting started. And those are my clients, you know? So why don't you do the same thing in this space where you're a natural friend, mentor, like you just do that naturally. But I also see you being a community person. Like, let me create a thing, a hub where people can plug into this and get, walk away from that experience feeling better than when they walked in. And obviously, it's not like therapy and things like that, but you could have therapists come in and speak to some sort of community like that. But you're the connector. You're the person that's attracting all this stuff in a unique Paula energy experience. So I know I'm kind of skipping down the line to monetization, but I can't help. That's where my mind goes. But like I see that as a point to drive towards. And now you're doing your email lists and your weekly newsletters are coming through, and like you're niching down your content and your brand. And I see all that funneling into some sort of an experience like that. So, I mean, have you thought about that? What do you think of that idea? Where are we at on that?
I do love it because I remember last year before I did lose my job, I was planning my first Talk Show with P networking event because I did like the idea at Podfest before we actually went to the virtual one where they were doing the kind of like speed dating, speed
Yeah.
networking. So I wanted to do that, and I was gonna make it free for the first one, and I wanted whoever was getting a ticket to get two tickets because I wanted them to bring somebody else. That way, it's not the same people in the room constantly. We're getting to know other people, and then the person who got brought next time brings another person. So it goes in with the community hub you're talking. So you nailed it.
Yeah. Good. Good. And like if you did something like that, um, like do you see it being like what would they get out of it? What would the takeaway be for that type of an event?
I want people around my age to network and see because sometimes we always feel like, oh, because I'm a podcaster, I can only get sponsors or work with my fellow podcasters, but you never know what somebody might have to offer with or a contract that they can have that you actually need. So I want people to just come and network.
Okay.
And it's not really about selling yourself, but more about introducing yourself to the community and seeing how you can help and how you can get helped.
Okay. All right. That's very helpful because I think with you, if you want to go down this self-help mental wellness space, we have to keep the train on that tracks a little bit. So I wouldn't label this as like a business networking event because I feel like that's disjointed. Because all of a sudden we're talking
Or
about mental
it can
health.
be a mental health, kind of like a support community where you can learn how somebody is healing with what they have and how they can help you or
Yeah.
offer different ideas or
Yeah.
different support.
Yeah. And I like the idea of it's not necessarily a place for therapy or a place, but it's more about sharing what's working. So maybe you have 10
Yes.
people that come in or something. Like you even do this as like what I do with Pod Pals. You know, like this could be your community episode that you do once per month, where you invite listeners or friends or whoever to come on the show in a group format, talk about kind of where they were briefly and what they've done to make progress. What has been most helpful? What's the one thing that's been most helpful? And that's kind of the speed round that everybody gets to contribute. But then maybe they also get to put an ask out there. Like what do you need to learn? Where do you need support that you don't have yet to get to the next level of your ideal mental health situation or next goal or whatever? And they put an ask out there, and then other people from the group or the listeners try to help them out, you know?
I like that. I like
So
that.
it can kind of be two parts, and that's you curating that experience. You know what I'm saying? So they get to kind of shine a little bit, but then they get value back by asking. And here's my one ask for this session. I am like, maybe you would say something like, I'm not as confident as I should be in my speech. I'm looking for a good coach. I've got a budget. It needs to be below this amount. If you have any contacts or connections, I would love a warm introduction. That's your ask. And then people listening in, people participating, maybe they've got somebody, you know, and then they can help you out. So how cool would that be if you put your email address out there and all of a sudden you've got 5 messages in your inbox with different speech coach recommendations just from coming on Paula's show? And so that could be a quick, what's one thing, you know, you've got 2 minutes each. There are 10 people in the room, 3 minutes each. What's one thing that is working for you in your own mental health and wellness? What's one habit or strategy 60 seconds there and or 90 seconds there and the other 90 seconds for your ask. 3 minutes total. You get 5 to 10 people in the room. This is a 20-ish, 30-ish minute episode. And you've just created a whole like vortex of awesome momentum for these people. And your audience got to sit and be a fly on the wall. How are you feeling about this?
I like that. I like that. I'm actually so excited that I I want to do it so soon. Because I do have only two more episodes. Well, two more episodes left, and season 6 is over. So now it's giving me ideas how to come back with season 7 and what to do. So I'm excited. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
And make season 7 all about community. Like, I want to connect with as many of you as possible. I'm going to curate conversations. In this season, I'm dedicating effort to bringing you and I together, as in you and your audience, but also audience member to audience member, and doing as much of that as possible to create support and momentum and, growth heading in the right direction. Yeah. So I think homework wise, you have to think about how am I building my email list? Because I know you said it was like me and Hannah and one other person on your email list right now. So we got to get some more folks on there. But I do open it every single time I open it. And I reply to you a lot too with suggestions like, try this, try that. And you're doing great with those. So
Thank you.
I think that like we need to start
This
building.
shows I pay attention to my homework and get the job done. I don't just come and waste your time, madam.
100%. You're an action taker. We love that. So I think this is going to be worth your time because it's going to build your email list. So you need to get a very simple opt-in page where somebody can give you their name and email, and then they get the Zoom link or whatever. They book your session on Calendly or however you book it, or however you're going to figure it out. We're going to get that put together. That's the next step. And then you can start promoting this. And honestly, you need to grab like 5 people. I'll do the first one for sure. And then let's find like 4 other people that are in your sphere of influence from the podcasting space and just do like this 30-minute blitz episode of everybody gets 2 to 3 minutes. We go around, you say who you are, one thing that's worked in your own personal growth journey, one tip, one simple tip, one simple strategy, put one ask out there that you're looking to learn or get assistance with, how to get in touch, next person. I think, if you
I'm
get
excited, and
I mean,
I already know the 4. And I already know the 4 people I wanna invite, especially since this being the first one. I think it's gonna be a great segment to have you and these 4 people that I have in my head.
Yeah, and lots and lots of people. So I think just your connections. If you have 5 to 10 people on this, that's a nice amount of conversation. I mean, imagine if you have, let's say 8 is the magic number. Everybody gets 3 minutes, and you do like a little intro, outro. That's a 30-minute experience. In 30 minutes, we're all walking away, including your listeners, with 8 strategies that have helped, that have worked in a mental health journey, and 8 opportunities to add value to people that have just given value to you. And that's the vibe of your show. Like it's a place where you can give value and see value in return. And that's what you're doing. Like you're putting a lot of value out there, and then value in return is like you being, leveled up as a speaker and getting all these opportunities from your podcast. And when paid offers start rolling out, that's, another opportunity. So I like this a lot.
Me too.
For a lot of reasons.
I'm excited. I'm excited I didn't cancel this shit.
She didn't get nervous and cancel. I would have chased you down. Okay. So
I don't want bad luck in my podcasting years.
all right. So I do not want any excuses as to why we cannot do this. So
no excuses.
Right.
Game on.
But I have to make sure that we have all, as they say, the I's dotted and the T's crossed. What are you going to do for an opt-in page, or like, how are you going to collect the email address, and how are you going to schedule it? I need to know, do we have an idea on this, or do we need to come up with ideas for this?
We do need to come up with ideas.
Okay. And what are you using for your email list right now? Like, how are you sending the emails?
People, when I send them to my talk show with Match shop, but I turned it off right now because I'm revamping it. But normally there's a opt-in button on my Match shop.
And then when you send the emails, are you using like MailChimp? What program are you using?
MailChimp.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think MailChimp may have some sort of an email
Landing page.
opt-in. Yeah. Check
Yeah.
on that. Because that's the first thing. We have to have a landing page that is very simple. It doesn't have to be fancy at all, but it says what it is, and they're able to get the link. Now, if that doesn't work, what do you use for scheduling? Like when you schedule a podcast interview or whatever?
iCalendar.
Okay. So what you want to do is book the event on iCalendar or whatever you use, just like you would a podcast interview slot. So whatever the date and time is, book it. And what you could do as a workaround is have people use that to book, but they have to fill out their email address. Then you manually take their email address and add it to MailChimp. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. Can I ask a question? So when it comes to finding the perfect date and time, how would you suggest that? Because that can be the tricky part, because everybody has different availability, different.
Yeah. Great question. So when I do Pod Pals, I avoid Mondays and Fridays, mainly because I don't work on those days, but I would always avoid those. I avoid the weekends. So I think a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday are the best days to try. Monday, everybody's getting their week going. Friday, they're closing their week. They don't want to mess with some extra stuff. Weekends are just off limits. That's just, I don't want to like ask somebody to come do a business thing on a weekend.
Me too.
Yeah. So we look at a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday. What I do with Pod Pals is I rotate between 12 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern. Because sometimes it's a great midday. It's still morning time on the West Coast, but we're hitting kind of that 9 to noon zone in the United States. And then 7 p.m., we're hitting that 4 to 7 p.m. zone. And that's worked really well. So that, and if I were you, I would book 2 of them, month 1 and month 2, and I would book one at 12 noon, the other one at 7 p.m. That way, if they look at the calendar, yeah. If they
have
look,
option.
Yeah. That way, the experience that you don't want to create is they opt in, they give you their email address, and then they can't attend the only one that's there. And like, I just gave up my email address for nothing. So you want to have 2 options. That way they can kind of pick the one that best suits their calendar. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, with iCalendar and all that and MailChimp, do you feel like we have an okay strategy where we can at least piece something together?
We do.
Okay. So I think that's the next big step is like, let's get some sort of an opt-in page. Let's book a date. Give yourself like a month to get ready for this, recruit it, but get it on the calendar also. Like don't podcrastinate, Paula. Don't sit back and be like,
I know why. Next thing you know, on the next newsletter you're getting, there's book now, and you're like, oh damn,
okay, good. That's what I want. So yeah, I think that's the big focus point for you is let's get a community engagement lead magnet going once per month. Name it something that sounds fun, energetic. Like you got to add some Paula mojo to this, whatever it's called. So don't call it like a meetup,
While I celebrate my birthday, I will make sure my mind is getting creative with names.
Yes. Like a mental health level up meetup or something like that. Like something that you read it and you feel momentum. That's what I want out of this.
I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and see what it comes up with.
Talk to the old chatbot. Yes.
I know your feelings with that. So I just had to.
I like to exercise my brain. ChatGPT. I'm gonna challenge ChatGPT to a steel cage death match. Me, AI Adam Intelligence versus AI ChatGPT. Let's see what happens. All right, Paula. I think that we've given you some solid homework, some good action steps here. Let's make sure that
Yes, I'm
people
very
can,
excited.
yeah, let's make sure everybody can connect with you. So, where do we send them? Website, social media, if they want to come and get on your email list so they can come to the first party, like where do they go?
All right, so go find my. You can find me on every social media that is out there. Just search Talk Show Whippy. That's my username in every and everything. Send me a DM and I will put you in my email list, at the moment, because my website is revamping. As I said, I am reconstructing everything. Season 7 is coming up with some new shit. So, but go stream my episode. Literally today, an episode came out, and that's my 139 episode, and it's 34 questions for my 34th birthday. So go learn some shit about me. I am finally a guest on my own show. Part
Nice.
1 is out today. Part 2 will be out on Friday. Stream it. That's how you can celebrate my birthday with me.
All right. All right. Stream it and say happy birthday to Paula. All right. So we've given Paula a lot of things to think about. Hopefully, you all listening in had a few aha moments as well. Maybe you're looking at building your first, you're building your email list, looking at some sort of email list builder, lead magnet. I think this is a nice little, you're going to get engagement. You're going to get an email list, potential monetization opportunities down the line. So hopefully you had some takeaway moments as well. If you want to do a podcast audit, just like my pod pal, Paula, hop on the website, www.podcastingbusiness.school. And with that, I'm going to send you all out into the world, wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you next time.